so this past week I went thrift shopping, and even though I didn't really get as much stuff as I was hoping I would get, I got some pretty cool stuff. But since you can't really try on clothes right now, it doesn't fit so well, or it's just not what I envisioned it to be when I saw it on the hanger. So I wanted to try to fix these clothes that I got up and make them a little bit more stylish, hopefully, fingers crossed. Or style it. I mean, look at what I'm wearing, so it doesn't take much. But it made me also want to dig through my closet and find some stuff that maybe I've had for a while and I just haven't worn, and I don't know why I keep it, but I think there's something I could do to it to make it perfect. The clothes that I've decided to fix are this beautiful, it's like a light I honestly don't, canvas maybe, I don't know. It's really cool. But it has two problems. One, way too big in the waist. So I'm gonna have to make that much smaller so it'll fit where I want to. I'm not really sure how to do that. The second problem is I like this to face up forward instead of backwards, because I feel like what's the point of having it backwards? The whole point is to bam with your leg, you know, when you have a slit in your skirt. But these things, I don't know if you can even see that, but it has two jean-like pockets on the back. And I want to be able to just take them off and not have them, would be the dream. I don't know if I have a seam ripper. I have this like super cheap sewing kit, which I've had a few of these in my lifetime, and I feel like usually they come with a seam ripper, so we'll see. The next thing I want to do, which will probably be the next easiest, honestly, are these gorgeous polka dotted pants. I got it as a set, and it came with a collared short sleeve shirt, which was amazing and like kind of cropped and just gorgeous, and I love it. But these pants are they're very odd. They're not very flattering. They don't do anything. They were just kind of like a square sheet of fabric that they sewed down the middle and said, here are your pants. I also got all of these wonderful, what are they called again? They call them something very specific. I thought it was just ribbon. I don't know. But I got a lot of it. So I would like to use some of that, and I'm hoping, and I might do this one first, because if this is all I need to do to make it look good, that will be amazing. Just cut a slit down right here, sew each side, put some of the finishing fabric through it, or maybe I'll cut it on the outside. So I could tie it in a bow on each side and scrunch it up so it'll have like some puff and it'll be doing something. The next thing that I want to do, which will probably be the next easiest if we're honest with each other, are fix these overalls. Now I'm gonna be honest, I don't have much hope for these to actually turn out looking good. The material's just really weird, and like it's too flowy for overall material. They look too short, they look kind of weird, but I think if I do the same thing I was kind of thinking on the shorts, and right here just cut out two on the side, and then I can tie a bow so it'll scrunch it. I hope so. And then maybe I can start wearing those again. I think I've worn them like twice. And then I washed them, and then they shrunk a little bit, and they were already too short before, and then after I washed them and they shrunk, I was like, fuck it, I don't even want to deal with that anymore, so I just haven't touched them since. The next thing, I got this, and it's kind of cute, and I'm kind of sad about cutting it up, because it is kind of a cute small apron thingy, but I've always wanted to do this for the longest time. Cut it right where it meets off into like these things to tie it with, and then just have like a crop top, but it's an apron top. I don't know, we'll see what happens. So yeah, let's get started with the overalls. Okay, so I'm not quite sure where I was thinking at first that I wanted to kind of scrunch it up on the back, but I think that's gonna end up looking weird with this because I think it was cut actually with some shape into it. So I think I will scrunch it just on the side. I'm gonna try to do just one slit on this side, one slit. Let's do it on the inside. I don't think that I want this bow to show. These all look like they are the exact same size hole, by the way. So I'm gonna do a bit of chopping. That was suspiciously easy. I also don't really know the proper way to sew, so if that's what you're looking for, this isn't where you're gonna find it. To start off, I cut a slit on either side of the zipper, and then I just started sewing bottom to top, making sure that each time I started at the bottom and ended at the top, so that hopefully the edge will be caught with that string. When you're doing this, be careful. A couple of times it did get caught on like the underside of the fabric, so there wasn't a hole going all the way through, so I think that messed me up later, but for now, let's decide which ribbon we want to put in it. I really liked this kind of orange one, but in the end I decided on the green one. I think this was a mistake. It didn't untie really. You'll see that later, and I'll talk about that later, but yeah, I mean, you're not gonna see it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And now we'll give it a nice bow and move on to the shorts. So I'm doing the same thing that I did for the overalls, just cutting a slit on either side on the outside of the leg. So I have 2 slits on each like leg hole or whatever. And I got lucky because I forgot to check to make sure that this went all the way around, that it wasn't sewed shut in the middle or anything, and it wasn't, so thank God, but you should check that before you start. So yeah, I just sewed this the same way, and then I chose my ribbon. At first I wanted a yellow because, I don't know, I've been going through a yellow phase, but when I saw this pink color and I saw how nice that it matched the polka dots, I decided to go with it. And this is where I got real dumb, and I thought that I could burn the edges because I've done that with a lot of things in the past, but not plastic enough, I guess, maybe. It just made a worrying noise and then scared me, and then it frayed it even more, so I had to recut the end. Also, I don't think cutting at a diagonal helped this at all. Anyway, I'm just putting that pin on the ribbon again, and I'm gonna fish it through the same way that I did the overalls. Now to scrunch it up and tie it in a nice, neat little bow. Cute. Okay, now for the one I'm scared of, the apron. I'm measuring it to make sure that I get it semi-straight. I don't think that I got it super straight, but that's okay. I'm folding the edges over themselves twice and then putting some pins in it so that it'll stay as straight as it can. And then I just started sewing the first way you learn to sew, which is up and down and just like weaving it through the fabric. And through the power of editing, there it is. And now time for the skirt. I was really not looking forward to doing this one. I knew it would look so much better after I did it, but I just didn't want to. And then I remembered that I have an X-Acto knife and that it wasn't that big of a deal. But I was so worried about cutting like the actual skirt fabric. Thank God I didn't, but it just took me a long time to do. But now that the pockets are off, I turned it inside out and put some pins in the side about as small as I wanted it to be, and just started sewing the same way, weaving it through the fabric up and down. I didn't really pay too much attention to making it look good or even or really anything. I probably should have. I swear the first one was a hoax because every other time I've had to rethread this needle, it just takes like 5 minutes. It takes forever. I should really get a needle threader. But now that we've got the thread, I just continued sewing the rest of that skirt all the way down, making sure to stitch it in place a couple times at the end so that the string didn't come loose. And there we go. We're all done. Okay, yes, it might be a couple of days later. I don't know what to tell you. It happens to the best of us and the worst of us. So yeah, I loved everything that I made. I absolutely loved the, hold on, let me get it. I loved the way this apron turned out. I still want to cut it right here and sew the edges so that it looks like this, but shorter. But I think it's so cute, and it gives a nice little side boob without like having to worry about anything. And this is definitely my favorite one. The shorts, absolutely adorable, another favorite. One thing that I did not like are these overalls, okay? This just did not look cute, and I swear it's the fabric. I think it's a little bit too flowy, but but I didn't tie it tight enough the first time, so I had to cut the string, and I couldn't really tie it a second time. And it just didn't, like, it looked good for about 5 seconds, and then once it started like getting bigger around, it just stopped looking cute. They're super comfortable though. I'll most likely wear them to bed, but for this particular item, it was not as easy as sewing something in here. I think what I want to try to do is fish elastic through here so that when you button it, the elastic starts to work and get stretchy, but you can also unzip it. So we'll see. I want to do this again because I have honestly more clothes that I would love to destroy. If you want to see that, let me know. Also, I started a Twitter. I'll link it down below if you want to watch that. But I'll see y'all later.